Yeah, no, I wouldn't say jean shorts. I would say jeans, just full on.
Oh,
jeans.
he's gonna have full jeans on. Okay.
Right. He's one of those people that went to.
Yo. Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind.
I guess you could say the main character of the episode is Dennis Rodman. And what I want to talk about is the theme of the episode, though. So what I wrote down as a theme for the episode, now hear me out, I wrote down the bullshit. And I noticed it said a few times in the episode, really twice. It said twice. The first time it said by... I can't remember. And at the end, Dennis Rodman is working out and he says it, the bullshit. And it becomes a double entendre for the episode. The bullshit, you know what I mean? This shit we're dealing with the Bulls and the bullshit. What did you guys think so far? What did you guys have as far as themes, I guess? What is your breakdown? I mean, as far as the bullshit is concerned, that seems like what is happening throughout the episode. We're just seeing a lot of bullshit. If it's not Dennis Rodman and the bullshit he had to deal with in his life, it's just bullshit going on with the team. Even they mentioned later on in the episode the Scotty migraine thing, which is not bullshit, but it's like the way that they almost talk about it is like you can almost see it in MJ's face, even though MJ would never say it because he's trying to be a good teammate. You can see in his mind it's like, this is some bullshit. And what did you guys think, Vic? What did you think the theme of the episode was?
I think, at least to a certain extent, Rodman, like his whole persona, his whole career, is kind of like a microcosm of everything happening to the Bulls, right? Like it's not just he's a great player. He's also kind of egotistical, kind of unsure of himself, kind of insecure, kind of not comfortable with the position he has as being a public figure and a famous athlete. We're like, especially in the 90s where social media and access to these athletes are different, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes the whole time. And he says over and over and over again, and he literally has said it his whole life, you know, people just don't get me. People just don't get me. And it's like, there's more to it than just what's the surface. As fans saying like, is this another championship run? And for them, it's like, are we even going to get the whole roster to show up every day just to practice?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that even part of again, along that theme of bullshit, the team is also just dealing with bullshit that we can't even imagine a championship team dealing with at this time. Fred, what did you think about the theme of the episode, or what did you think the theme of the episode was, I guess?
Nah, man, I agree with you. It was just like you just seen a lot of like unnecessary stuff going on. And, you know, and Rodman, you know, I think they all credited Rodman with being the great player. And like, you know, they said he was kind of that, you know, especially while Pippen was out, like kind of like that catalyst. And he was able to like turn it up and, you know, kind of bring the team, you know, and, you know, help them, you know, win. But the thing is, it was like so much unnecessary bullcrap that they were going through. Like, I mean, if you look at, you know, what everything Rodman was doing, it was just like he was a wrench. You know what I mean? And it was, you know, it's hard to have someone like Jordan who was insane about, you know, you saw his work ethic, and then when you had someone who you weren't sure if he was going to bring it every night. But you do see resolve, though. You know, you see, like, they still are able to make it work, right? Yeah. And I think that's where you kind of see, you know, you do see, and I know we kind of want to say Phil Jackson for a little later, but you do see kind of like a parallel of the way Phil Jackson runs his team and the way Krause runs the whole organization. And it's, you know, but that's a lot of bullcrap too going on. So I really, that theme, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one, because I didn't know how it did shed light on how Rodman did take his craft serious when it came down to it. Like, he's talking about angles, he's looking at film. I never knew that he did that. I just thought, you know, it was his natural ability, which, I mean, it is, but then he would hone into it. So, you know, much respect for him. But yeah, there was a lot of crap going on that season.
Yeah, Vic, why don't you jump in, talk about that, because I thought that's a great point, Fred, about how Dennis is almost obsessive about rebounding. Like you would just never. He's obsessive about rebounding, like an offensive player is obsessive about adding to his offensive game, almost. Vic, what did you think about that?
It sounded a lot like Ben Wallace. If you ever get a chance to, like, it might be on YouTube or something, talking about angles and paying attention to like who's shooting the ball and like tendencies. If so-and-so is shooting the ball from the corner, he's more likely to hit front rim, so I'm gonna stand over here, versus a guy who usually goes long, I'm gonna get on the other side of the rim. But a lot of that is understanding. And then, like, when you play long enough, you kind of figure that out too. And I don't know if this is true or not, if this is just hyperbole because you never explicitly said, I watched people to see how they miss. That was just so like people kind of put together as an assumption. But like, again, these are guys that were dominant rebounders and only really cared about doing certain things.
Yeah.
At least in the pros. Ironically enough, though, both of them went to a Division II school and averaged like almost 30 points a game in Division II. Him and Ben Wallace. But anyway, but it just sounded like a lot of the great rebounders, like understanding that, and even over the flow of a game, it can change from game to game. If a guy's staying in front of the rim a lot, I'm gonna stay in front of the rim than versus getting on the other side of it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point about Ben Wallace. I mean, but both of these guys are elite defensive players, defensive player of the year candidates, and elite rebounders. And I think it's really interesting to see that. So there's a couple details in here that are fancy. So let's talk a little bit more about the bullshit. So there's all this bullshit going on. Finally, at one point, I mean, we get no Scottie Pippen or whatever for however many games. And then there's the Pacers game, which is about 16 games into the season. Now, up until this point, I think it's kind of interesting because they make it seem like Rodman is shitting the bed this whole time. So I went on and I did the math. I did some quick math and counted up the first 17 games in my head because Brian is an elite mathematician. And Rodman was essentially averaging 5 and 14 up until that Pacers game. He's really on his career averages, but this is important to know to basketball fans, especially ones that are casual basketball fans, what it's like when a guy can have the numbers but not have the mentality, not have the aggressiveness, like that killer instinct, the nature that is necessary to win a game. He could still show up and just grab the numbers. When you're an elite rebounder like that, or even an elite scorer, you'll hear that idea all the time. This guy could roll out of bed and give me 20. And it's kind of like that. Now, this leads up to one of my favorite moments of this episode, and probably I guess I have this under one of my my favorite allegory or moment of the episode here is when Dennis talks about did he bring the cigar to no, he goes to Jordan's hotel room. He goes to Jordan's hotel room and asks him for a cigar, right? And the best part about this is 20 years later, they are separate off camera, and Rodman says, I never came out and apologized, but I think he knew me asking for that cigar was like an olive branch. And then cut to Jordan. Yeah, he never apologized, but I knew him asking for that cigar was an olive branch. And it's like, that's one of my favorite moments or allegories. That is exactly what leadership is, kind of from both of their standpoints, honestly. You know what I mean? These two alphas kind of coming together and Rodman apologizing for getting kicked out of the game essentially by doing this. What did you guys think about that? Was that one of your favorite moments, or did you have another moment you wanted to highlight, Fred?
Yeah, no, that was one of my highlights, but I did appreciate that because, you could probably tell that prior to that there was like a coldness to the relationship. And I think we've all been there, like if you're either with like a spouse or something like that, you get an argument and then you just sometimes you don't even say sorry, you just say, "Yo, you want something to eat or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm down." You know what I mean? And that and I think that's basically the way that they were gonna do it. Nobody was gonna apologize.
Mhm.
You know, they didn't need the
Yeah.
drama. You know, have like a long conversation.
Mhm.
So I really appreciated that. But when you just see how like Rodman is just like almost like a little kid.
Mhm.
I mean that has been shed. Like he's been very vulnerable in the interview, so I kind of knew that already. But just the fact that kind of the way he saw Jordan,
Mhm.
just another man,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of like he's like almost like my dad
Mhm.
almost, and like you don't want to disappoint your dad,
Yeah.
and sometimes just your dad being disappointed is enough for you to like kind of change, your
Yeah.
behavior. So, and then Jordan knowing like, like he saw value in him was cool. I think that was one of my favorite moments. But I think, that just going back to what I was talking about earlier, just seeing like Rodman, like watching TV. I mean,
Mhm.
like watching a game and just
Yeah, yeah.
taking notes.
Taking the
I
notes.
never would have known that my man did that.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know what I mean? I just thought it was just natural,
Yeah, yeah.
type of stuff going on. So that kind of shed the light on me, light on that. And the one thing I used to get frustrated, I used to get mad, like when I was playing football at Temple or whatever, even in high school, is like you would have some of these guys who would do that type of behavior. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
stay up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then be fine the whole game.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yo, if I did that, I'd be like a mess.
Mhm.
And the fact that he could just do that and then just start running miles on the treadmill
Mhm.
was insane. And it just showed how crazy that I guarantee Jim Paxson wasn't doing that. So or Steve Kerr, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
They were getting sizable
So
meals.
so those guys, were probably going to bed at like 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
9:30.
Mhm.
So just I love the characters. I think that's what I love about basketball
Yeah.
is that you're able to like kind of you have these characters and they all play roles on the team,
Mhm.
right? And that's kind of when I was a kid, that's why it wasn't like no one told me that like white guys could shoot. I just put it together because I grew up with Paxson,
Yeah.
back in threes
Yeah.
and making them curve, being that like I never saw him dunk in my life,
Mhm.
but they were gonna sink that three.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So just having those, that's what I love about basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't really do that in football. In baseball, there is, but like just that's what I love about basketball. And
Mhm.
just this type of like all the different characters in the story is great.
Great, great. Vic, what did you think about that allegory, or did you have any other moments you wanted to highlight?
So, but besides the vacation, it's the most important part of
Mhm.
the episode, um, because as you said, he was hitting his averages, but he needed more. He needed to
Mhm.
do more because
Yeah.
Scotty was out. So we didn't need your average. We needed more
Mhm.
than that. Um, and as it's come up over and over and over again, Dennis was not an extrovert, right? That was his alter ego.
Mhm.
And that's when he felt important in front of a big crowd, so he would play to the crowd.
Mm.
So him coming to Michael, and like Michael said in episode 3, Dennis never came to my room.
Mhm.
So him having the humility to walk to his room, knock on his door, and say, "Hey, you got an extra cigar? And even though this is uncomfortable for me, I'm going to sit down and hang out with you and
Mhm.
whoever else is in here."
Mhm.
Was that olive branch, and it was that sacrifice.
Mhm.
And like Fred says, sometimes hashing it out is not actually worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just agree to drop it, and we'll move on from here. We
Mhm.
both know what we got to do.
Mhm.
But then also the idea where they talked about a little bit later is that like he became the model citizen until Scotty came back.
Yeah.
Because he liked that role. He liked being the second best player, the
Mhm.
guy Jordan had to lean on.
Mhm.
And then how things changed when Scotty came back.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost immediately things change. And to the point. So one thing I do want to mention here is they go and smoke cigars, and this is in the middle of a season. I don't think any NBA player is doing that today. Just going to go smoke a cigar after a game. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? So real quick before we move on to Fred's point about white guys that shoot. Dennis Rodman. So if you go to a basketball court, right? Let's say we go play basketball. Let's say we go to Fox Chase. Is Dennis Rodman the dude that's wearing jean shorts and high top black Air Force Ones? Is that a yes or a no, Vic? Yes. A wife beater. The wife beater might have a hole in it. Maybe. It's a little dingy.
All right. So if I'm picturing Dennis, if that's the start of the outfit, he got jean shorts, black forces. If he has to have a beater, then he got a long ass leather jacket, like Highlander leather jacket on.
So he's now crazy. Okay.
He got a choker necklace. And his hair is all types of colors.
Okay. Fred, what do you think? What do you think you're going to see if you show up at a basketball court? Which character is Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say jean shorts. I would say jeans, just full on.
Oh, he's gonna have full jeans on. Okay,
right. He's one of those people that went to didn't plan accordingly. Like he knew he was gonna play basketball, but he just didn't. He decided to stay with the same outfit he used, throughout his day. So he's using, I wouldn't say black forces. I would give you some sort of like K-Swiss, right? Like a nice pair of like kind of like jacked up K-Swisses that
maybe a pair of Diodoras, a throwback. You know what I mean?
Maybe, and jeans, and then he's a really really loose tank top, right? Not a beater
for sure.
It's like a tie dye.
If it swings one way or the other, you see a nipple.
Yeah, exactly. Like it really is just a string. It's like a thong for a man on the upper part of his body. And then he might be wearing some sort of like beret.
Yeah. Oh, beret. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, I've seen this man when I used to when I used to go to LA Fitness in Abington.
Yeah.
So that there is that human being.
Oh, no question. That's why I mentioned it, because this exact person has blocked me at least 4 or 5 different times to start a game. You know what I mean? That I go do my little drop step, and his long arms and his shitty wife beater, his wife beater blows like a cape in the wind. Yeah. And he eats my shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I got to figure out other ways. And then he gets the rebound. You know what I mean? Like this guy is a ferocious rebounder. Black K-Swiss or Sauconys maybe. Maybe some dicked up New Balances that are all types of different, like a pair of tan New Balances maybe.
Yeah.
That is the Dennis Rodman character. At
Cortezes maybe.
Oh, a pair of Cortezes maybe. I'm going with jean shorts. You guys said long jeans. I'm going jean shorts because jean shorts, I'm not saying that this man is dressed ready with jean shorts. I'm saying he would have wore jean shorts if it was February, just like he would have wore jean shorts like when it was July.
Yes.
Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind. Used to come